Story time again, huh? How about a favorite of mine called the Steadfast Tin Soldier? Once there was a little boy who had a collection of tin soldiers made for him by his uncle from an old tin spoon. Now, the last of the soldiers to be made had the same gun, hat, and uniform as all the others, but there hadn't been quite enough tin for him to have 2 legs. So he stood very tall and sturdy on the one leg he did have. During the day, the soldiers fought mighty battles for the young boy, but during the night, they were left to stand guard at the gates of a cardboard castle. Well, it turned out that just inside the castle walls there lived a ballerina. She was dressed in layers of white lace and wore flowers in her hair and stood gracefully on the toe of just 1 foot. Her other leg extended out far behind her, but the one-legged tin soldier couldn't see that, so he thought she had only 1 leg, like himself. "We're a perfect match," he said to himself, and he looked admiringly at the ballerina. He, of course, thought no one knew it, but one night, when the little boy was fast asleep, the jack-in-the-box jumped out and gave an angry look to the tin soldier. "You stop looking at that ballerina," he said, "or you'll be sorry." The tin soldier had no idea what he meant until the next day, when the boy had the soldier on a window ledge keeping watch, and suddenly the window opened and the soldier fell out. The saddest part was that no one noticed, except perhaps the jack-in-the-box, so no one came after him. Soon it began to rain, and 2 children, who seemed to have no place to go, or surely they'd have gone indoors, picked up the tin soldier and put him in a little newspaper boat they'd built and launched him down the gutter. As it rained harder, the boat moved faster. "What's to become of me?" thought the soldier. "If only I had the ballerina with me, I could face anything. Where's this going to end?" "Passport! Passport!" hollered a water rat as the boat zipped by. But the boat was moving too fast to stop and headed right for the spot where the gutter dumped out into the open sea. The soldier figured he was done for when suddenly he was swallowed by a big fish. Inside the fish was even darker than the gutter had been, and the soldier wondered how long he could live in the dark belly of a fish. Well, as luck would have it, and this was lucky indeed, the fish was caught by some fishermen. The tin soldier could feel himself being hoisted into a fishing boat and could hear the boat sailing toward the docks. There, the soldier's fish and all the other fish were taken to market. And what do you suppose happened? The cook for the little boy's family picked up the fish with the tin soldier in its belly. When he got it home and cut it open to prepare it for dinner, out popped the tin soldier with 1 leg. It was amazing. Here was the tin soldier back where he belonged, among all the toys he knew, including the castle, the ballerina, and the jack-in-the-box. Needless to say, the jack-in-the-box was not happy to see him at all, but the ballerina, well, for a moment the tin soldier thought he saw a smile cross her lips when he was put down next to her castle. Perhaps, given time, they'd have spoken to each other. But what happened then was too strange to be explained, except to say that it must have had something to do with the jack-in-the-box. One of the little boys who was playing with the tin soldiers took this soldier, who had just survived the great outdoors, and threw him into the wood stove that warmed the room. The flames immediately jumped up around the little tin soldier and began to curl his blue and red uniform. As he looked out the door of the stove for one last goodbye to his ballerina, a small gust of wind flew up under her skirt and lifted her right out of the castle and into the stove with the little tin soldier. And so they were finally together after all.